What's up, everybody? It's your boy Corey back again with another video. Today I want to talk to you all about settling. Just think about it. How many of y'all are settling right now when it comes to a relationship, when it comes to your job, when it comes to something that's going on in your life? Are you settling? I want to use this video today to talk about why settling is detrimental for the long haul. In the present, it might feel all right, it might feel good, but when it comes to the long haul, there's a lot of things that you will come across that makes you feel a little bit different. In this video, we're gonna be talking about settling, why you shouldn't settle, and we're just gonna go from there. So go ahead and hit that like button, go ahead and subscribe if you haven't subscribed already. If you're new here, I make self-development videos. I also make lifestyle videos, vlogs here and there, pretty much a multifaceted channel, and just sharing my gems of what I've learned in my lifetime through my experiences and things like that. So go ahead and hit that subscribe button if you haven't subscribed already. Let's get into it. Hopefully a lot of you all aren't settling, but it's easier said than done, because if we think about settling, is accepting something even though you're not 100% certain, or accepting something because you can't get any better or you feel you won't get any better. And like I said earlier, this can be jobs, this can be relationships. A lot of times you don't realize you're even settling until maybe a couple of years later. You're like, dang, I actually settled for this opportunity. I actually settled for this person. I actually settled when I wasn't even ready. And it causes a bunch of trouble. And I want you all to be able to avoid some of those things. So number one reason why you shouldn't settle is because if you're settled, you're going to take a hit on your personal. Think about this, on your personal endeavors. And I say this because let's say you settle for a job. Say you like, something, I don't want this job, but I'm gonna just do it because this is the best thing available, or I'm selling for this opportunity because I don't have nothing else. And let's say life happens. You're in this job, life happens, and you're stuck in this job because you settled and you wasn't 100% on this job. Now you're stuck here for 2-3 years. You probably want to stay a year or two. Now you're there for more than that. And now you're miserable. It's taking a hit on you as a person. You're going to be down mentally. You might go into depression. You might feel like you don't want to go to work. You might not perform well because you've settled in this job, in this role, and you really didn't want to do it in the first place. Instead of just waiting a little while longer, being patient, sometimes that helps. Is, you might not want the opportunity. You might just take the opportunity because you don't have any opportunities at the moment. I always think about it from a long-term perspective. Like if you are in this role, or if you do take this job, are you going to regret it later on because it's something you didn't want to do and now you're kind of stuck? And people, when you start to feel stuck, you start moving different, you know what I'm saying? So that's the main thing. And then when we think about relationships, a lot of people settle when it comes to relationships. This person may not be good for you. This person may not offer the things that you'd like in order to be fulfilled. This person isn't there for you, but they're the only person around. So you end up taking what is available at that moment instead of just waiting it out, doing you, being on your purpose, understanding what you offer, and requiring things from that person, and then finding that person. Settling in a relationship can be very, very detrimental to your mental health. It can be detrimental to your long-term success. It can be detrimental to the relationship in general. And it's detrimental to that other person because they might be thinking like, oh, okay, yeah, I'm good. But in the back of your head, that's not really the person you would have went for. That's not the person you saw yourself with, but you settled in a moment because that was the only person there. And that's a bad way to make a decision. And life is all about decision making. Life is all about making decisions in order to help you move forward, take that next step, take a leap. So if you're settling, 9 times out of 10, that decision that you made to settle is going to bite you in the ass one day, because it could be 3 years, 4 years. You might get married to this person. All of a sudden, an epiphany come in and you're like, dang, I'm not happy. Dang, I don't want to be here. Dang, this is not what I want to do for the rest of my life. You get that feeling because you settled and you didn't wait it out. And one thing we have to realize is if you wait, if you be patient, God has a plan for you. And you have to trust that that plan is going to take you where you need to go, going to set you up with the person that you're supposed to be with. But if you don't trust it, you're going to end up settling. And when you settle, it's just a bad decision. It's not a decision based off you thinking about the decision, based off anything, so it's detrimental. And also when it comes to settling, right, you start to develop hatred. And the only thing that I could say is when you develop hatred when settling, you can only blame yourself because you made the decision to make that move, to accept that job, to be with that person. You made the decision to do that, but you start to build some animosity, some hatred, maybe resentment towards somebody or towards your manager or towards the job. But you're the one that made the decision to be there in the first place. You're the one that made that step and that commitment to be with that person, to sign that offer letter, whatever the case may be. You made the decision, but you're penalizing someone else or the company or whatever the case may be. You're penalizing them for a decision that you made. And it feels better when you do that because you don't feel like it's all in your court. You're kind of placing the blame on others as well. But at the end of the day, you made the decision to be there. And again, I can go back to relationships. It happens a lot. Somebody settle, they resent the person eventually. They have some type of animosity, hatred towards the person and be doing all kind of things. And the person is like, where is this coming from? You can't explain it. They don't know where it's coming from, but it's coming from because they settled and they didn't want to be with you in the first place. So I think a lot of that can be kind of dealt with early on. Like if you just have a conversation with yourself, like, yo, am I settling right now? Or am I with this person for this? Or am I with this opportunity because I couldn't find nothing and I need to just try to get out now? Like have a conversation with you and be real with yourself. A lot of people don't want to be real with themselves. A lot of people try to stay away from being real these days. Be real, communicate, be truthful, honest, like just put it all on the table because the more you communicate, the more you be real with anything in life, you're going to have a better outcome. But the more you internalize, but the more you hold in, the more you just have all this stuff going on inside and you don't output that stuff and put it on the table and be transparent and be glass, it's going to be detrimental and you don't make the best decisions for you. So settling is just not a good decision. Another reason why settling is bad because it hinders you from going after what you want. You know what I'm saying? If you settle in a relationship, you can't go after what you really want in the relationship or the person you really want to be with. If you settle for a job, you're going to have to be at the job from 9 to 5 or whatever the case may be. The hours might be long. You might have to travel for it. That's going to hinder you from being able to get into position to do what you really want to do. So that could be whether you want to start your own company. That could be where you want to work somewhere else, have a different role somewhere else. If you settle right then and there, it's going to slow that process down. In life, you need to be making proper steps, sound decisions in order to push you to the next step and the next phase and the next chapter in your life. But if you are settling, you're slowing that process down. You might not never get to where you're destined to be. And I say this all the time. It's okay to have standards, right? But don't set your standards too high to where you have to settle. Don't price yourself out the game. Don't market yourself too high to where you don't have the opportunities and you don't have the ability to bring in things in close proximity in order for you to make a sound decision so you don't have to settle. Some people have standards so high when it comes to the job, their salary compared to their experience, or have their standards so high when it comes to relationships to where there's nobody really out there that fit that criteria. There's no opportunity out there that fits that criteria. So now you done priced yourself out the game in all areas of life, and you have to sit there and wait for somebody to just be like, oh, I'm interested. And now you got to settle. That's where settling comes in. You shouldn't do it, but that's why people end up selling, because they've priced themselves out the game. They have their standards extra high to where nobody can meet those standards. And then they get tired of just searching and finding someone within those standards. They done let go of some good people, done let go of some great opportunities because it didn't meet to a T of their standards. They priced themselves out the game. Standards was too high, and now they have to settle for what's in front of them at the time they're ready to lock something in. Whether it's a job, whether it's a relationship, they gotta settle. Well, don't be that person that prices themselves out the game, that have to settle because they want a family soon, they want kids soon, they want this job soon, they want to make some money soon, but they was declining offers and things like that because it just didn't fit to a T. Now, I will say this: don't confuse settling with, knowing your worth. You know what I'm saying? Like, you have to know your worth as a person, right? You know what you shouldn't accept. You know what you can accept. You know what you can kind of flex on. You know what you can kind of bend a little bit and compromise. Like, you know that. Like, you can settle and still know your worth. You can settle and not know your worth. You know what I'm saying? And it looks different for each one. Like, you can know your worth and be like, I'm worth this and this and that. And you know what I'm saying? I deserve this. But you're not getting that. But you settle for it anyway because you're so fixated on getting that opportunity. You're so fixated on being with that person. Or reverse. You can settle and don't know your worth, right? So you can accept something. You can accept the bare minimum, but in reality, you deserve more than the bare minimum, but you accept it and you settle for that. And now that's what you got to kind of set there. Like, you got to set it right. You got to set your standards there almost, because you done accepted lower than what you are worth. And that's how people get in these bad situations. So I would say, man, I've learned, in my lifetime, you know what I'm saying, so far, I know to have standards. I know to, keep expectations low. I know to not settle. I feel like everything that I have in my life right now, whether it's job, relationship, opportunities, friends, I didn't settle for those things. I made sound decisions to go that route, to take those opportunities, be in a relationship, have this group of friends, be around these people. I made sound decisions. I'm not settling because I know if I settle, I'm only going to take a hit to myself. And then also, while I take a hit to myself, is also going to be detrimental to others. And I don't want to harm anybody else. You know what I'm saying? Of course, I don't want to harm myself, but I know if I settle, it's going to affect me in the future. It's going to stop me from getting me to where I want to go. It's going to stop me from being able to be proud of the things that I have. I won't be able to appreciate things because I've settled. Settlement is very hard for people that are trying to go places in life. You know what I'm saying? Because once you settle, you like, dang, I could have had this. You start to live life in regret. And that's the worst way to live life, man, is in regret. And, looking back and saying like, yo, if I would have had this, I would have did this. Like, I don't want to be the old guy in my 60s and 70s talking to grandkids, talking to young heads and being like, man, if I was this age, I wish I would have did that. I want to be the person where at this age I did this and I was confident in that decision. It's what I wanted to do. And, I learned from this situation, but it moved me here, and help people move in the right direction. But you don't want to be that person that regretted a lot of decisions based on you settling. You as a person have a decision. You have a voice. You have the ability to make a decision. You have the ability to walk in a direction that you want to walk in. You can ignore all the signs, or you can think about the signs. You could think about everything and start to walk in the right direction and make a sound decision. So don't be that person that ignore the things that you're feeling on the inside, ignoring the universe, ignoring messages that you're receiving, because you're feeling that way for a reason. If you ignore that, you're going to settle for something that you don't need to be with, the opportunity that you don't need to go for. You're going to be at a place you don't need to be at, all because you settled and made the wrong decision. Don't be like that. Peace.